Why have we normalized and let our leaders normalize child poverty and homelessness and hunger in America? Where is your voice to say stop children falling into poverty? Stand up and speak up for your children and their future.
We as a society are making a choice as to how much poverty we're going to tolerate, about how much inequality is going to be okay for us.
It is not a money problem, it's a priority problem. Poverty for children means being hungry. Poverty for children means being homeless. Poverty for children means not having hope for a future.
When you ask, well, is a person in poverty because of housing or immigration policy or criminal justice policy, the honest answer for most people is yes. Like, they're in poverty because of all of it. How do we work to be able to address the fact that we have so many children who from Jump Street are already starting off from such a deficit? In New York City alone, around 2,000 children are born in shelters every single year, where they're taking their first breath in a place that is by definition insecure. In many cases, poverty was predetermined. And so now the ability to be able to get out of it is something that becomes much more difficult.
When I was younger, we experienced homelessness. We were walking barefooted, and people would pass by us and give us these faces as if we were kind of like animals in a way. And it just felt like the world was ending at that moment.
In the New York City school system, more than 100,000 children end up in insecure housing. That's an atrocity. Having an adequate, balanced diet is extremely important for a child's health. We all know that children who are hungry cannot even concentrate in school. Their growth is impacted adversely when they don't receive nutrition.
My father is unemployed. He has been for quite some time now. My mom, sometimes she couldn't feed us. I would have to go to school to eat. So the lunch ladies would maybe give me more mozzarella sticks, or they would give me an extra chocolate milk or extra Jello or extra pudding. You're gonna cry, you're gonna wanna give up, you're gonna go through things. But the fact that you see the light, that's all that matters.
The Trump administration announced today it is going forward with a plan to kick nearly 700,000 people off of food stamps. The administration formalizing a rule that makes it harder for states to waive federal standards around who can qualify for the food stamp program, which is now known as SNAP.
It is unconscionable that the current administration seems determined to deprive families of the basic supports they need.
When we're talking about lead exposure, is there any level that's safe? Could you just have a mild exposure to it?
That's a great question. The CDC says no level is safe. Lead poisoning is a life sentence for children.
Many communities across the state have lead exposure rates 5 to 6 times higher than Flint, Michigan at the peak of its lead crisis. It causes brain damage. It makes it difficult to read, to do math, to remember things. The system we have essentially treats children like canaries in a coal mine. We wait for a doctor to find a child who's lead poisoned, and then we try and figure out how it happened. It's ridiculous that this is still happening.
The tragic thing about lead exposure is that it's preventable.
Oftentimes people talk about this idea of a school to prison pipeline, but I actually think it's more targeted and even more nefarious than that. It's a poverty to prison pipeline.
What we see is a disproportionate focus on criminalizing Black boys and Latinx boys.
Normative kind of behavior is classified as almost criminal in nature where children are suspended. There aren't guidance counselors to guide young people and their families. And all of these kinds of supports don't exist. And so why are we surprised with the poor outcomes that we get?
We live in a state where children as young as 7 can be arrested. That's an abomination.
I like advocating because I'm also giving back to my community. I'm fighting for my community, and my voice matters.
One of the really powerful examples of the Children's Defense Fund is this marriage between direct services and advocacy. Direct services will address the very human need right now, but we've got to always ask, but why is that even necessary?
It can take months to change something. It can take years to change something. But the important thing is to always go forward.
The Children's Defense Fund in New York has the opportunity to speak on behalf of children and also to help amplify the voices of children.
What I would like to see change is how immigrant people are treated.
I would like to change the way the shelter system works. I would like to change the way we give opportunities to our homeless.
Reform is not over. There's still a lot of work to improve outcomes for young people, and the Children's Defense Fund's voice is very important.
Support the Children's Defense Fund because results matter. It's not just going to be a great investment in the children, but it's going to have long-term, immeasurable impacts on our society. Our children are our most precious asset. They're also the most vulnerable. Our job is to protect them, and by protecting them, we're protecting ourselves and protecting our future.